What's going on, everybody? Respawn Gentleman here. So with Tiny Tina's Wonderlands coming out very soon, I wanted to share with you what I think are the best builds for each class in this game. So let's jump right into it. So I'm using the Wonderlands skill calculator, which I'll have a link for down in the description below if you want to check that out. But the class we're going to talk about today is the Clawbringer. So I'm going to do a solo build for the Clawbringer as well as a multi-class build. We're going to jump right into that. So first off, the feat for the Clawbringer is the Wyvern Companion. It says the Clawbringer is accompanied by a Wyvern Companion that flies through the environment and attacks enemies with its claws and fire breath. Any increases to the Fate Maker's damage also applies to their companions. So you'll have a little tiny dragon flying around with you, shooting fire everywhere. It's super awesome. So let's get into this build. So you have two action skills you can use. You have Cleansing Flames, which basically you summon your hammer, slam it on the ground, and it releases a whole bunch of fire damage. You also have Storm Dragon's Judgment, where you basically are Thor and you take your hammer and you throw it, and it deals lightning damage to everybody it hits and stuff like that. And you can actually even recall it back to you. So that's kind of cool. But this particular build, I think the best one is use Cleansing Flames. So that's where I'm going to base this off of. So since we're using Cleansing Flames, this is going to be a fire-based build. So you want to go ahead and max out Oath of Fire. So that way your gun damage and your Wyvern are going to do 20% more bonus fire damage. Then you're going to want to max out your Radiance, which is going to give you more ward capacity, which is basically your shield. And that's super important to have. So next you want to do 2 levels of Oath of Thunder, because we're going to max out everything else. And you're not really going to be worrying about this one so much, because this one only gives you bonus lightning damage when you do melee attacks. And this build is basically going to try to stay away from melee attacks as much as possible. So that's why this one's not super important. You're going to want to max out your Dragon Aura, because it's going to give you a 20% increase to your elemental damage to you and your allies, and it's going to be insane with all the fire buffs we're going to be getting with this. So you definitely want to max out Dedication, because with this one tying in with Radiance, the higher the shield capacity you have, the faster your action skill cooldown happens. So you'll be using Cleansing Flames more often, so this is a really important one to max out. You want to increase Rebuke, because this one, it gives you damage reduction from all attacks, which is super important, but also you have a chance to reflect damage back at your enemies as lightning damage. So this is super huge and definitely a must have. Then you're going to want to get Blasphemous Favor. This one, because you're going to be using your guns more often, it's a kill skill that basically every time you kill an enemy with a gun, or your Wyvern kills an enemy with a breath attack, a fire orb is going to appear and deal some fire damage. So you should see fire orbs like almost constantly with this build. Next, you want to go ahead and get Firebolt, because it's an extra fire attack that your Wyvern Companion will do, and it also increases your gun damage, so it's really good for you. Next, you're going to want to max out Friend to Flame, because it's going to give your Wyvern Companion even more damage. You also want to get Storm Breath, because that means your Wyvern Companion will occasionally use its lightning breath on enemies, and that lightning damage, like it says, can arc from enemy to enemy, and you get more damage reduction as well. So this is super important to get. Next up is Awe. You definitely want to max this out, especially because you're going to be dealing tons of fire damage. And it says after dealing fire damage, you gain increased critical hit damage. So you want to be hitting as many critical spots as you can. And every time you get a critical, it's going to do absolute tons of damage. The next one is a must-have, is Indomitable. This one, instead of going in to save your soul, your shield actually refills instead, and then you do bonus lightning damage. So this is insane. It'll make you kind of stay up for longer. And last, you want to grab the Capstone, which is Storm Smite, which is every time you use an action skill, either Cleansing Flames or Storm Dragon's Judgment, either a fire bolt or a lightning bolt will fall down from the sky and attack enemies nearby. So this is absolutely insane. Let's jump over to the stats and show you what that's about. So for the stats on this one, I chose no backstory, and I kind of made this kind of a middle of the run build. Basically, you want to increase your strength to 20, increase your dexterity to 15, intelligence to 20, wisdom to 15, constitution to 20, and your attunement to 20. Basically, everything in here is going to benefit your character, so you want to increase all of the stats, and I feel like this is the best way to do that. So for the multi-class, I think the best one for Clawbringer is going to be Spore Warden, because of its feat, which is the Mushroom Companion, and it deals poison damage. It's absolutely fantastic. So you'll be able to have a flying dragon and a mushroom that just attack enemies like crazy. This is going to be a companion build for this multi-class. And we're going to go with Cleansing Flames again as the action skill. You can use other ones if you want to, but this is not going to be an action skill based build. Is really going to be about using your companions to their fullest extent. So for the skills themselves, you want to go ahead and max out Oath of Fire again because you're going to be doing more fire damage still, so keep that going. You definitely want to have Radiance because you're going to want to be having as much shield as possible. Go ahead and also max out Dragon Aura and Dedication as well as Rebuke because those benefits are just massively important for the Clawbringer. You want to get Blasphemous Favor and you want to get Firebolt and Storm Breath. Now that's where we're going to end it with the Clawbringer, and the rest we're going to put into Spore Warden. So for the Spore Warden side, you want to go ahead and max out Bounty of the Hunt because every time you kill an enemy, it's going to reduce your cooldown or your action skill, which makes you use it more often. So it's a really good one to have. You also want Kindred Heart because this increases your companion's health as well as their damage. So both the Wyvern Companion and the Mushroom Companion will be doing more damage. Then you want to grab Spore Cloud, which makes your Mushroom Companion let one rip and leave a poison cloud that deals damage over time, which is absolutely hilarious. And if for nothing else, you need to have this one for comedy's sake, it is absolutely amazing. Definitely get this ability. The last skill you want is the Medicinal Mushroom. So what's great about this is that anytime you go in to save your soul, your Mushroom Companion is going to try to revive you. And if they do, both you and your Mushroom Companion will get more damage for a short amount of time. So this is going to be absolutely insane. This is the best way to have these two kind of work together to make your companions do as much damage as possible. Let's jump over to the stats. So for the stats of this build, I chose to have no backstory, give it 15 strength to increase critical hit damage, 15 dexterity, increase critical hit chance, and then max out constitution and attunement so you can be using your action skill more often and have as much health and shield as you can possibly get. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more Wonderlands content, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also check out some of my other videos like the one YouTube recommends right over there. And if you want to help support this channel, you can check out the support links in the description below. Thanks for watching.